Trinidad and the town Honolulu and the Lake Titicaca. All right, it's a lot of nerves up here, but I just wanted to express my gratitude for just being here and just spending the last couple hours or so singing with everyone. What a pleasure that is. And so while I'm in gratitude, I just wanted to express gratitude to the YBCAU team, Julie and May, who helped put this together, and all of my esteemed colleagues out here and in there, which is tripping me out. But I know in there is my soon-to-be husband, Stephen William Hoffman. Thank you. So, a math teacher and an accountant walk into an arts center, and what happens? Well, in the case of Henri Ducharme and Lawrence Lee, they join our brand new all-access membership program, YBCAU, and by doing so, they begin to sprout extra heads and extra limbs. So what the hell kind of membership program did Henri and Lawrence join that would have this otherworldly effect? Well, first I have to tell you about the membership program they joined with a slight detour to my work in public health, as they are both tied to the story of Henri and Lawrence. So first, the program. YBCAU is our groundbreaking all-access membership program that we developed through various pilot program ideas generated out of the EMC Arts Lab and the support of other foundations. YBCAU is unique in that it is designed to make art engagement a habit in your life. The big idea here is to move away from a transactional model with our audiences to building deeply engaged and ongoing relationships by increasing the frequency, diversity, and community of art going. The program is not intended to make YBCA programs a habit in people's lives. No. We want to make arts engagement the habit. And we can achieve this by encouraging our audiences to attend as much within and beyond our campus. There's no threat for competition of losing a YBCAU member or viewer to other arts organizations. This kind of empowerment we strive for is about broadening and expanding one's creative self with the help of a caring and skilled guide. For $20 a month, the first benefit is an all-access pass. This all-you-can-art benefit is like Netflix or Pandora Radio for your art life with almost limitless access. Our viewers are free to attend as many YBCA films, performances, public programs, and exhibitions as they like. In this way, the pass removes the barrier to risk-taking or trying something new they may not have bought an individual ticket to. Therefore, audiences can more frequently engage our art center that becomes a combination of creative gym, learning haven, and community hotspot. The second benefit includes YBCAU exclusive programs, which offer viewers opportunities to meet and greet with other arts lovers to explore and nerd out on culture. These are like-minded folks gathering around art for book clubs, pre- and post-show social and educational events, art-making workshops, field trips to other arts and cultural institutions. Friendships are formed, social learning happens, tools for processing art are shared, and sometimes even first dates and romantic matches. These gatherings are communities of practice responding to art with their own unique social architecture and ritual. After all, in today's digital world, getting people talking in a room together can be a radical thing. Thirdly, you also have the opportunity to build a one-on-one relationship with program staff serving as what we call a live guide. It's like having a trainer for your art life, a sort of librarian, concierge, or creative case manager, which is a new and unique idea to the arts sector. The live guide is an experienced and caring arts educator who learns about our viewers and what matters to them. Live guides explore our viewers' wants and dislikes, identifies goals, offers encouragement, in addition to tailored referrals to YBCA programs and other arts and cultural organizations and venues. Any combination of the three benefits are intended to make art a habit in one's life, with the idea that increased frequency of arts and cultural participation increased diversity in one's exploration of arts and ideas, and social modes of art engagement result in healthier and happier individuals and communities. Ultimately, we believe that this three-pronged approach helps people connect more deeply to themselves and to their communities. This program, particularly the Live Guide creative case management model, originates from my 16+ years work in public health, co-founding Los Angeles' Asian Pacific AIDS intervention team. I saw firsthand the power of art to transform one's ideas about what they know, what they believe, what they think they're capable of, and ultimately how art and art engagement can trigger and contribute to lasting and increasingly positive behavior change. According to the World Health Organization's 1946 preamble, health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, rather than merely the absence of disease or infirmity. As many of you in the choir already know, there are numerous studies that claim evidence that art-based interventions are effective in reducing adverse physiological and psychological outcomes. The most successful programs I developed in HIV/AIDS prevention education were art-based. I learned that art engagement is an incredible superpower. Positioned as such, art is the incentive, the attractor. Art is the permission giver, the okay maker. I found that I had more success discussing difficult and often culturally taboo subjects of sexuality and death and disease if we introduced these uncomfortable and risky topics in the context of a poetry reading, a gallery exhibition, a film festival. But to be clear, I'm not arguing that arts engagement is a magic bullet. What I'm positing is that arts engagement or connecting with one's creativity and imagination comes into its fullest power when it is used as a tool to connect more deeply to oneself and to others. And with each and every AIDS case management client, as with each and every member of our YBCA program, the work of case management or live guiding is about getting to know you, who you are and what you hope for, your wants, your needs, what your beliefs are, what your daily life is like. It's about listening, setting goals, and understanding what strengths and challenges we're dealing with. Whether or not it's AIDS work or arts work, the common thread in all of this is the power to facilitate well-being, desired change, and self-determination. And so how did this happen for Henri and Lawrence? Henri is an elementary school teacher in his 50s who joined YBCA when it was a pilot. Henri is almost always at our shows and constantly participating in the exclusives. Back during our pilot period, when we conducted Henri's first aesthetic development interview, or art triage, we asked Henri to share his goals and what he'd like to get out of the program. So what do these goals tell us about Henri? Well, we can see that he's interested in drawing connections between what he's learning in the arts to enhance and innovate his work as a home builder and as a math teacher. I see someone here who is reaching. Henri is reaching to become more than who he is at the current moment. After all, through the arts, Henri wants to get closer to God. No small task for Henri's assigned live guide. Lawrence Lee, another longtime viewer, is in his 40s, a finance officer at an award-winning urban planning organization. Lawrence is a savvy, successful, and friendly soul. At his intake, we learned that Lawrence's goals are to diversify and attend more performance in film. He wanted to increase his thinking skills, and he wanted to experience art socially. Lawrence identified discipline-specific interests, and he's looking to arts engagement to increase his thinking skills and connect to a greater network of arts lovers. For Lawrence, art engagement is the way to get more well-rounded, be thoughtful, and socially active. Henri and Lawrence both actively use all three benefits, especially connecting with live guides. And so what's going on with Henri and Lawrence today? In his pursuit to incorporate arts pedagogy into his math education practice, Henri recently attended a visual thinking strategies training with YBCA staff, and he's taking what he's learned to the girls' math camp. And here he is I'm using arts pedagogy teaching math, which I think is awesome. In addition, Henri has become a sort of YBCAU evangelist, trumpeting his enthusiasm recently by saying, "I will die a Uer." And as far as getting closer to God, I recently asked Henri's past live guide how we're doing on this goal. Sarah reported that this brought to mind an afternoon she spent with Henri in the galleries. One day, Henri was feeling frustrated in the galleries. He was frustrated because he wanted to connect to the art immediately, and he just wasn't. Sarah, sensing his distress, invited Henri to sit with her on the gallery floor. Henri talked, Sarah listened, and Sarah listened for a long while. And she listened mostly not about art, and they sat together on that gallery floor, and at the end of the session, Henri expressed gratitude for just being with the art and Sarah, and since then, Henri regularly attends exhibitions to simply sit, make time, and practice not knowing. The practice of not knowing. Lawrence's sense of self is also expanding. At a U exclusive during the Icebreaker, Lawrence debuted and dubbed himself a performer. He shared with other Uers how he experienced a significant shift, an expansion of who he is in the everyday through the arts. Lawrence actively seeks recommendations for arts engagement both in his hometown of San Francisco and when he's traveling. He is also now programming a music series in Annie Alley near his work. While I'm aware that relative to AIDS work, YBCAU is not crisis management, I utilize skills and strategies around behavior change from public health and social justice to engage communities through art. Moreover, I come to the arts with values of public health and relate them to the power and potential of arts engagement. What does this all say about organizational transformation? Well, it certainly raises compelling questions. First, what value is there in bringing different skill sets and value systems from other sectors? Secondly, how can we develop the interdisciplinary needed for social work practice in the museum? Third, what if art centers employed a healer in residence, a storyteller in charge, a community outreach worker, a soul motivator, and a director of joy? How courageous. Thank you, Deborah Collin, for that time. How courageous do we need to deal with change? To quote Lois Silverman's writing about social work of museums, she says, "The greatest treasures of culture are not sculptures or specimens, but rather human relationships. Magnificent and precious, ourselves, close pairs, families, and groups belong in the world's museums, although living culture has quite different needs than rocks or bones. The next age is demanding change of global proportions and a nearly infinite capacity for human caring. Let us meet these needs with courage and creativity, one relationship at a time, through the social work of museums." So a math teacher and an accountant walk into an art center, and what happens? Well, they sprout multiple heads and multiple limbs, and what are they doing with all those multiple heads and multiple limbs? Well, they're being used to adapt to an increasingly globalizing and technologically complex world, a world that demands instant, constant, almost manic connectivity. Multiple limbs suggest increased power and titanic might. Multiple legs travel to countless destinations. This is a multitasking world, and any and all extra limbs are in demand. Multiple arms means multiple skills, as well as the ability to reach out, connect, and affect. Multiple heads is all about an expansion of consciousness. Having multiple heads allows us to think differently, to speak and understand different languages, emotional or otherwise. What do we need to be healthy today? What will it take to be healthy together? I bet if we put our many hands, our many heads together, we can find out and we can make it happen. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much.